through an arcade. Maybe you and I were walking through an arcade. In the arcade, in the arcade, in the arcade.
All right, we overslept, Miriam. It's all my fault. Just let the marriage drop. Good God.
Morning, Molly. Miriam.
Oh, are we late or are you early, Kitty?
Yes, you're not usually here until 9 o'clock. Sometimes later, I notice.
Yes, we all notice how you notice these things, dear. I'm expecting an early delivery of recent releases, so I drove in a bit sooner today.
See, we missed breakfast. I'm going to see if Mrs. Sue can give us some help.
Missed breakfast again, did you?
Yeah, I had a heavy night on the town. My ever-loving sister overdosed herself on sleeping tablets. You're all a bit early, fellas. The whole studio doesn't open until 10 o'clock.
She's got a special early session. Oh, come on, Will. Visually, it should be. No one chooses does she?
Oh, we'll have to wait. Well, I don't have a key.
Oh, don't mind waiting for you,
Mr. Bancroft.
Better watch it, Arthur. She's not in the mood today, are you? I'm not sure, Miss Buxton. I'll ask. Mum's the water boiled yet?
Not yet, I'm afraid. I've only just turned it on. Oh, I can't start the day without my cup of tea.
Hey, Miriam, come and open up. I can't stand here all bloody morning.
Oh, hi, Miriam.
Morning,
Hi,
Norman.
Molly. Hi, Molly. Good morning, fellas. Oh, I'm sorry, fellas. I had trouble with my big end.
Good God. Look at this headline.
Oh, no, not another hitchhiker murdered.
Oh, God. I feel like the harbinger of doom. Petrol strikes, MPs putting their own salaries up. Just for once, I'd like to see something like Malcolm Fraser flies economy.
Oh, dear, I think I'm starting a headache. This will be the third victim in a week. Well, thank goodness it's not happening near here. Where was the first one? Galagenburg?
Yeah, but the second one was closer. Now this one.
They are getting nearer. If this keeps up, it won't be safe for a girl to go out. Oh.
Thanks, love. I don't think you need worry, Billy.
Oh, Molly, those poor girls.
Well, what about him, the bloke that's doing it? He needs help, I reckon. He must be sick. Psycho.
Listen, Wilma.
I've had enough of those muscle-bound perverts, I tell you. They won't keep their hands off me.
But, Wilma.
I'm sick of it, so I'm packing it in right now. Oh, watch where you're going, can't you?
I'll speak to them, Wilma. Come back.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the surf and ski shop.
What am I going to do?
Did you say the surf and ski shop, dear?
Yeah.
It's round the bend. Like poor Norman seems to be this morning.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Fancy a cut price Rod Stewart?
Pardon?
Going cheap on the Harry Miller label?
No thanks.
Thank you very much. Yes. I think we're going to spend some more money. Yes, we'll have a look at this shop here. This shop's very nice.
Hi, can I help you?
Stan Stewart?
No, Di Smith.
No, I meant to Stan Stewart in, please.
I've never heard of him.
Well, he owns this place.
No, he doesn't. Craig Carmichael owns this place.
Well, I'm Stan Stewart's brother, you see, Robbie Stewart.
Well, hello, Robbie Stewart. But you're still in the wrong place. Craig Carmichael owns this shop. I ought to know. I live with the guy. In the nicest possible way, of course.
Well, did Stan sell out or something?
Well, I don't know. I never met the previous owners. We've been here about a year.
Well, that's when Stan bought the place. Well, I've got it all written down. There it is. Yeah. The street, the arcade, the shop.
Well, it's got me beat. Look, why don't you go up and have a talk to Craig? He might know this Stan Stewart. Oh, it's the apartment block above the arcade. Second floor, number 5.
Robbie.
Stan.
For Pete's sake, what the hell are you doing here?
Waiting to be asked in.
Oh, matey, come here. Gee, it's good to see you. I can't get over it. Gives a look at you. Hey, you've grown up.
And you smell like a flower shop.
Yeah, well, you still smell like a vegetable patch.
That's Gallagher, man, for you.
What are you doing here? Why didn't you let me know you were
what's
coming?
This Craig Carmichael bit? Is that really
Listen,
you?
tell Mum and Dad they
I
okay?
did not expect the good ancestor to come
Hold
up
it, hold it. Now, let's start from the beginning. Now, what are you doing here?
Well,
you didn't write.
I didn't write.
You should have let me know you were coming.
I
mean, I could have picked you up or
The
something.
girl downstairs
Gee,
to come
I'm
off.
knocked out. I am
Craig
really
Carmichael.
knocked out. Now, let's start at the beginning.
Good idea.
Can I help you, sir?
No, thanks. Just browsing.
Oh, okay. You going to buy that, love, or read it here?
Ah, how much is it?
$3.50.
I'll come back later.
You've been dusting those books for 20 minutes now.
And why not? They were rather dirty.
In that case, you shouldn't be dusting them, you should be reading them. Might do you a bit of good.
Don't be obscene. Oh, isn't it time for morning coffee yet? I could do with a sit down. Well, I'm sure there are some loose springs in that spare bed of yours.
That is not a spare bed, it's Joey's bed. And thanks to you, my beloved son has to sleep on the sofa.
Oh, back onto that again, are we?
You brought it up, love.
Molly, you surely don't begrudge your own sister a bed. It's only temporary after all.
But how temporary, Miriam? Now, that's what you said 3 weeks ago when you landed on the doorstep. In the meanwhile, poor old Joey has to just make do on the sofa. You know, it's just not...
Oh, excuse me. Do you have a copy of Our Feather Friends?
No, dear. It'll be in at the end of the week.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Now, let's have a decent look in here.
I don't want to hear another word about those dreadful hitchhiker murders.
You're not going to. Now, listen. Clean single unit in smart block. Living room, bed, bath, kit. Only $75 a week.
And what does that mean, pray?
I'm trying to find you somewhere to live, love.
But I've got somewhere. Upstairs with you and Joey.
Temporarily. Now, you said that yourself, Miriam.
Oh, but $75? I was only paying $50 at Red Bear Mansions.
Yeah, that's what they called it, Threadbare Mansions. That place was nothing but an old ruin.
Well, it takes one to know one.
You always come in on cue, don't you, Kitty?
Oh, but you know what they say. Once a pro, always a pro.
Well, there's no need to boast of the fact, surely.
Oh, she meant a professional entertainer, love.
Oh, yes. I forgot you used to be something of a singer in your day, didn't you?
In my day, Miriam, you make me feel as old as Nellie Peach Melba.
Oh, excuse me, but how exactly do I fill in these coupons?
Oh, it's simple, madam. I'll show you.
Oh,
Come on.
thank you very
That's
much.
all right.
Why did you ever give it up, Kitty? I mean, showbiz.
I had my reasons. Money, for one. A week in work, 2 or 3 weeks out. Not exactly secure.
Yeah, you know, that's the side of it the public never thinks about.
Well, I did. I had to. So I decided if music wasn't going to be my livelihood, I'd push other people's music in a record bar of my own. Kitty Adams, this is your life.
Got any birthday cards?
Yes, love, they're over there.
I wanted one for my friend. She works in a massage parlour.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know about that, but have a look and see if there's anything suitable. Like many happy titillations.
Kitty, I think you have a customer.
Oh, he can wait. Give us the morning paper, love.
Okay.
He seems to be rather impatient.
How clever of you to notice that, Miriam. I'd best see what he wants, hadn't I?
It's him again, the same man.
What same man?
The man I noticed before, and it seems that he and Kitty always end up having some sort of a fight. I wonder what's going on.
Well, I'm glad you two finally got it sorted out.
Yeah, Robbie's my little brother, that's for sure.
Less of the little.
I couldn't work it out at all. Hey, you never told me you were Stan Stewart.
Yeah, well, you never asked.
I lived with the guy for over a year, and I don't even know his name.
Look, who ever heard of a top male model called Stan Stewart?
Well, Craig Carmichael.
Ah, well, that's where you're wrong, kid. Look, I tell you, I am making it really big, you know. Of course, it takes time and a lot of hard work before you get the big breaks.
Well,
but
is that why you never write home? Look, you know, Mum
No,
and
I
Dad get really
sent them
uptight.
some photos.
Yeah, but no letters. Just shots of you grinning away in a pair of jockettes. Dad thought you turned a bit queer.
There's no worries about that. And who should know better than me?
Yeah, well, you should talk about anyone not writing. Why didn't you let me know you were coming to town?
I wanted to surprise you. Look, it was an impulse. A couple of days ago, I jumped into the old bomb, and it was goodbye Gallagher Bone, hello Big Smoke.
Well, is it a holiday or what?
Oh, no way. Look, I started uni in 3 weeks. Veterinary science.
Get my kid, brother.
Well, not just a bush bunny after all.
And now you're here, kid. You're staying with us.
Oh.
I insist. Hey, he can have the other room.
Well, is that all right with you, Di?
Anything my lord and master says.
Oh, well, in that case, back to work, woman. Me and Robbie got a lot of catching up to do. Hey, what's all that about?
Oh, I'm taking them to the dry cleaners. They get so musty in the window.
Oh.
You look as though you could take a trip to the dry cleaners too.
Oh, well, I have been travelling for 2 days.
And living on tomato sauce by the looks of things.
Oh. Yeah, well, they make the hamburgers pretty juicy up country.
Yeah, well, off with it. We've got to start smartening you up now that you're in the big city.
That's some bossy chick you got yourself there.
Yeah, but sexy with it, eh, kid?
Tell you there's nothing in the bloody pocket, Sam.
But there was. I bloody well know there was.
Gentlemen, gentlemen. Mr. Bennett.
Good day.
Walter, do keep your voice down, please. I could hear you all the way along the arcade from the hairdressers. Whatever will people think?
Let them think what they bloody like.
Language, Walter. There are ladies present.
Where?
Now, what is all this undignified shouting about?
Nobody's going to accuse me of being a crook.
That money was in the suit, I tell you.
What money?
I wore the suit of the trots last night, Mrs. Blair. Then I came in here early this morning. Clean beginning, I left my winnings in it. A cool $500.
Damn it, man, you just been through the pocket yourself and it's not there.
But it was.
Mr. Bennett, are you accusing my husband of petty pilfering?
All I know is the money was in that suit.
Please, you're shouting again.
A minute ago you said it was him.
A minute ago I was merely being polite. A minute ago I did not know I was dealing with a mountebank.
A what?
And if you choose not to make sure the pockets are empty before bringing a garment in for dry cleaning, then it is hardly our responsibility.
Don't talk to me about responsibility. I'll give you to tonight. And if I don't get my money back, I'll go straight to the cops.
The police? Oh, Walter.
Oh, he's bluffing, Joyce. The suit was only left on the premises for 15 minutes. When he came back, we went over every inch of the bloody thing, including the floor.
How uncouth of the man. To think that I almost allowed myself to become familiar with him as one of our regulars.
Morning, Walter. Mrs. Blair. Anything the matter?
No, my dear. Nothing at all.
No hurry for these. They're just stock out of the window. But I would like this back in a hurry. Well.
If more of our regulars took the trouble to do that, Walter.
I won't give you a ticket, Di. We know who you are and where you are.
Oh, there's a stain on this. Where is it? Ah, it's tomato sauce, he says.
Oh, no, my dear. I do have experience in these matters. That is a blood stain. Yes, I'd say that was definitely dried blood. Wouldn't you, Walter?
Morning, Iris. Can I interest you in a genuine Bill Haley? Got the pick of the bargains. I've just put them out.
Bargain? Oh, Kitty. Mantovani. Glenn Miller. Mr. Percy Faith. You're joking, of course. All good standards here, and all going cheap. Then obviously my standards are higher than yours. No, I prefer something a little more exciting, dramatic. Something to get the adrenaline going.
I don't think you'll get all you want of that over at the health studio, Iris.
Why? What's happened?
Excuse me, duty calls.
Aren't you gentlemen being attended to?
No.
Just one moment, will you? Glenn? Equipment is not to be left lying on the floor. How many times have I told you that?
Oh, 5 times I think it was, Iris.
Didn't mean literally, you fool.
I'm wrong. It's 6. The 6th was last Tuesday, because that's when I hurt my foot.
I wouldn't mind hurting my foot if I thought I could boot some sense into you. No, look, if it happens just once more, you're out. Do you understand? Now, where's my brother-in-law? Norman! Norman! Now, what's going on here? There are men out there waiting to be signed in.
I'm doing the best I can, Iris.
Which is not and never has been good enough. Where's, what's the name? The girl? Wilma? Where's Wilma?
She walked out on me.
What?
She got one too many pats on the bottom from the members. It was the last straw, and
A year ago? You didn't try to stop her? God, what with you and that overgrown halfwit, it's the one with any business left. None of this would have happened if Mike was still alive. He ran this place like a military operation. Efficiently, with style. It's hard to believe you two are related, let alone brothers.
We were always different, Iris.
You can certainly say that again. Now, get out of here and attend to those men, and then phone the employment agency and hire a new receptionist.
Yes, Iris. But it wasn't
Don't argue, Norman. Just do it.
Yes, Iris.
Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been in touch for so long, Mum. Yeah, well, I've been busy. Well, I thought I'd just ring and let you know that Robbie arrived okay and that he's going to come and live with us. I mean me. What? That's strange. Oh, nothing, no. Look, I've got to go now, yeah. I'll try and come and see you before too long. I promise. Love to Dad. Bye.
Well, how are the old folks at home? Your parents in... Where is it?
Glagenbahn. You know, I could have sworn Robbie said he set out only a couple of days ago.
Well, he did.
Mum just told me he left home 5 days ago.
Well, maybe your little brother's not as innocent as he looks. Maybe he had a torrid dalliance with a cowcockie's daughter on the way. Well, look what I found in his jacket pocket. And that wasn't tomato sauce on his jacket either. It was blood.
Blood?
Well, according to Mrs. Know-All Joyce Blair. Go and ask her if you don't believe me.
I can do without her. Look, I'm going to take Robbie to the Hill studio after he's unpacked. That's where I'll find out what he's been up to. Maybe.
I can hardly wait.
Well, look what's just turned up.
G'day, sexy.
Must you call your mother sexy?
I'm not complaining. Why shouldn't I?
Well, in the first place, it isn't nice.
Oh, yes, it is, Auntie Miriam. If she wasn't sexy in the first place, I wouldn't be here in the second place, would I?
Obscene thing to say.
What are you doing here anyway, Joey? You've not come to try and flog your insurance policies with my regulars again, have you?
Insurance, Mum, is a thing of the past. I walked in this morning, quit, and walked out.
You what?
Well, with so much unemployment, you'll regret it, young man.
But why? That was a regular job. I got it for you in the first place, remember? I did the spade work. Took out a policy I could ill afford, gave him a sob story about how I couldn't afford it unless my little boy got a job.
Well, now, history repeats itself. Have you seen the ads in this morning's paper?
Seen them? She's been ramming them down my throat.
Well, listen to this. Henderson Properties Proprietary Limited. Assistant manager required for business shopping apartment complex.
Henderson Properties? That's his place.
You're going to make it one day, Auntie Miriam, with that keen perception. Now, it goes on to say...
I don't want to know about it. Assistant manager? You'd never qualify for a job like that. For one thing, you've no experience, and for another, you're too young.
Well, if you want my opinion...
Customer, Aunt Miriam. Come on, Mum, listen to me.
Stop it! Take your hands off me. You think with a bit of fuss and flattery I'll do anything for you, don't you? Well, I won't.
You got me the job in the insurance company, didn't you?
Yeah, and you just walked out of it. So much for my efforts.
Because there's a better opportunity for me right here with Henderson Properties. Old Henderson will do anything for you. He's one of your old flames.
Old flame? Damn squib, more like it.
He's been perving on you ever since you rented this shop. You've told me.
And you'd put your mother in jeopardy all over again just to get a job you're not even qualified for?
In a word, Mum, yes.
Well, in another word, Joey, no.
I suppose you let him talk you into it again?
No.
Are you sure?
Positive. Mind you. I've got a hand at that son of mine. He always comes out with what he thinks.
What he thinks usually doesn't amount to much.
I suppose you're right. Yes, of course you are. No, I won't be swayed. This time, he's on his own.
Mum, I've got Mr. Henderson on the line. He wants to know what time you'll be up.
Good morning, my dear. Pot of tea, please.
I will call my mother.
Good morning, Mr. Marshall. Tina?
Good morning, Mrs. Blair.
Just opening up your pinball parlour?
That's right. My kind of business doesn't get going till about 11:30, so we can afford to sleep in the mornings, can't we, love?
And we are open till 10 at night, you know.
Yes, indeed. I don't know what the country's coming to.
Give me the keys, Dad. I'll open them.
Now I can do it.
Please, let me. I'm not entirely useless, you know.
Independent type, my daughter.
Sorry, Mrs. Blair, aren't you being served?
Well, I did try to order a pot of tea from your sister. I thought she was helping out here now.
She's supposed to be. Anything to eat?
Oh, some toast and plum jam. How's she settling in since she arrived from Hong Kong?
Oh, my sister.
Of course.
Sorry, I can't get used to having a sister. You see, she was brought up by my father in Hong Kong until he died a few weeks back.
Whereas you and your mother are truly Australian, isn't that so?
That's right, Mrs. Blair. Dicky die, Aussie boy, right down to the shoelaces.
Uh-oh, you'd better double my order, Philip. Here comes Miss Buxton at last.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late, Joyce, dear, but blame your husband.
Walter?
Yes, we've just been discussing this dreadful news.
Has Walter told you about it?
We didn't have to. It's in all the papers.
What? Impossible. Let me see. Well, where is it?
Well, it's staring you right in the face, dear. Another hitchhiker slain.
Oh, I thought you were referring to something else.
What else?
A small business problem Walter and I have, Miriam. But don't concern yourself about it. Oh, don't look now.
Why, what is it?
It's that dreadful chocolate chip from the gift shop. Just look at it.
You told me not to. Darling! Oh, you are having the mid-morning coffee, and I am only now arriving for work.
In what I would hardly describe as working clothes, Miss Yockett.
Ah, thereby hangs the tale. Last night, you see, I go to this party at the Hungarian club, and all night long, these men, they try to make with me. It is, Magda, have some more champagne. Magda, come to South America with me. Magda, I make you the big movie star. All night long, I stay waiting for the best offer. And what happened? Nothing. They all go home to their wives, and I am left with Tommy Tika and the man having caviar sandwiches for breakfast. Oh, dear. Magda, I think you have a customer. Oh, darlings, I must go. Business before pleasure. Bye. Oh, darling, I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting, but you know what these society affairs are like. They drag on forever. Aha! You admire this Dorotheus. Wait one moment while I find my little key. Now, how does this get in there? Order for a more, would you, darling? Thank you. The key now. Where did I put my key? Oh, here it is. I got the key now. Open the door. Thank you, darling.
Dear Philip, you look a bit busy. I thought I'd treat myself to a cup of coffee.
Yes, we are a bit full up. Look, there's room at Mrs. Blair's table if you fancy that.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. Excuse me, would you two ladies mind if I joined you?
Of course not, my dear. Do sit down.
Thank you.
We were just discussing these dreadful hitchhiker murders. The first one took place at, where was it again? Oh, yes, Galagenburg.
Oh, Galagenburg.
Yes, her body was found on the roadside just outside the township. Shockingly mutilated, said the report said.
Horrible. It makes one pine even more for the sanctuary of somewhere like Turak.
Then the second girl was found in a pool of blood. Just 2 days later, about 300 miles along the highway.
It would never happened in my day, of course, this hitchhiking. Bubsy would never have allowed it. She travels safest who travels alone. That was one of Mumsy's little sayings. But if these girls will accept lifts from strange men...
Oh, strange isn't the word for it. The man must be a maniac. And yet he can't look like one. Otherwise, none of the girls would have trusted him, would they?
No.
Young, perhaps. Near to their own age.
And headed for the city, judging from the trail of bodies. Just think, Joyce. It could already be here. Creeping round the suburbs this very minute. Getting ready to pounce again.
Or even in this very arcade.
Hello.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, my back. My back.
I'm sorry, I don't know my own strength.
Never mind, I'll be all right in a minute. Now, if you want to join, it won't be Ladies' Day until tomorrow.
I'm not a lady. I mean, I'm not here for that. The employment agency sent me.
Oh?
For the job.
Oh.
Go on, say it.
What?
That I'm too fat. Everybody does, or at least they think it, so I've learned to get in first.
Never mind.
Well,
I didn't mean that.
I knew I wouldn't be right for the job as soon as they told me what sort of a place it was. I mean, Whoever heard of a fat girl working for a health studio? But when you've been on the dole as long as I have, you'll try anything.
Looks aren't always that important, Miss...
McPhee. Consuela McPhee?
Norman Pendleton. After all, I'm hardly Mr. Universe, am I? But you should have seen my brother Mike. Oh, he was built like this, he was. He ran this place until a couple of months ago.
And then you took over?
I had to. Mike died suddenly and I was left half the business.
How sad.
Yes, I was really rather happy in insurance. Never mind, I'm trying to build myself up with simple exercises, vitamins, that sort of thing, you know.
I'm sure you will, too. I wish I could build myself down, but it's no use. This is the way I am, and this is the way I'll stay. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time, so I'll be going now.
Miss McPhee?
Yes, Mr. Pendleton?
When would you like to start?
You mean it? Well, what's wrong with right now?
It's a deal.
Oh, thank you.
How often do you put yourself through all this agony?
Every day if I can make it. Gotta keep in shape. Gotta look good for the camera. Here. Oh, this a second.
You're really into this modelling, are you?
Am I ever? How do you think I was able to buy the shop?
Well, modelling pays that well.
Well, this job did. About a year ago it was. Big fashion layout. I was the sort of sporty, handsome guy they needed, and boy, did they pay. I made sure of that.
Were you with Di then?
I met her a couple of weeks before, actually. We dug one another, and I thought the shop would give us a bit of security. Guy hasn't got 2 cents to rub together, so the shop keeps us busy while
you're busy modelling, yeah.
Look, I'll level with you, Robbie. There's been nothing quite like that first big break of the year back. Oh, I get plenty of offers, but they're strictly for peanuts, so I just knock them back. Just waiting for that one big break to turn up again. Whew. Should we have that sauna now?
The only reason I came here.
Yeah, well, you go on ahead. You must need it after all that travelling. How long were you on the road?
2 days.
You lying bastard. Mum told me it was 5.
Well, it felt like 2. It shows you how much I was enjoying myself. Well, I've never been away from home before, you know that. I took the time, buzzed around, saw a place I'd never been to before.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'd have done. Except being a snazzy dresser, I wouldn't have blood on my jacket.
What?
Well, you said it was tomato sauce.
Oh, well, Di said it was tomato sauce. I just didn't feel it was necessary to contradict her.
Why?
Oh, forget it.
Oh, why? What's the big deal?
There's no big deal. Well, if you want to know, I hit a wallaby on the way down.
Oh.
I wasn't quite dead, and I had to finish it off with a rock. I didn't like doing it. It was... oh, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to get used to that if you're going to uni to become a vet.
Well, vets are supposed to save animals, not kill them. Satisfied?
Okay. Come on, let's go and have that sauna.
Good morning, Tina. Looks like you're getting busy, Mrs. Sue. Like always, come lunchtime. Well, I'm in no hurry. You can serve the others first. Are you sure you're comfortable? Maybe I should move your chair. No, honestly, I'm fine. Perhaps if I help you. Now, don't you start fussing over me, too. I get enough of that from my father next door. I'm quite happy to wait. If you so wish. Tina, darling, you watch my shop door for me, yes? I must go to the chemist for 1 minute only. I cannot find my lipstick. Sure, mate. That old chemist upstairs, a millionaire, the lipsticks I lost. Come on. Philip, the customer's waiting outside. I have to see to the hot food in the kitchen.
Well, can't you see I'm busy, Mum? Get Princess Chopsticks to help.
That's no way to talk about your sister.
Sister? Can't even think of her as my sister.
Then you must try.
Well, how? She's only been in the country 10 days.
That's why it's all so new to her.
Yeah, work's new to her, that's obvious. Mum, she's got to start pulling a weight. I need more time off for training. My coach says
all right. Mealing, we are getting rather busy. It's almost lunchtime. Your brother has to look after the counter and I have to go to the kitchen. So if you could perhaps... How did you manage before I came? Oh, we managed. It was hard work, but we managed. But now you, my dear, can make things a little easier for us. Now we can all work together like a true Chinese family.
By turning your only daughter into a waitress? In Hong Kong?
This is not Hong Kong. This is Australia. Now, please, Mealing.
You're crazy, Di. Stark raving bananas.
I'm not. Everything seems to add up.
It does if you happen to have a wild imagination.
Well, it does anyway. Galarganbone. I wish I'd never heard of the place. Kitty, that's where Robbie came from. And that's where the first girl was murdered 5 days ago. Robbie deliberately lied. He said he set out 2 days ago. And that's not the only lie he's told either. There were the bloodstains on his jacket and the woman's scarf I found in his pocket.
Maybe he likes to wear it. Maybe he's gay. You said he didn't like girls.
No, I didn't. I said he acted a bit strange and withdrawn when I asked him if he had a girlfriend. But then, come to think of it, you're probably right about him not liking girls. He would have to hate the entire female race to do what he's done.
Well, I suppose past the journey.
You don't be awful.
I was trying to be level-headed in the face of your hysterical suspicions.
Well, I'm sorry, but I had to talk to someone. It all clicked together when I overheard Mrs.
Then go and talk to the kid himself. He's the one you're getting uptight about.
I can't do that.
Then talk to his brother. Tell Craig.
No, I can't do that either.
Then forget it, Di. You've been watching too many midnight movies, you know.
Hey, Mum, how about this?
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that really goes with your eyes.
Don't be dumb, it's for you.
I'm not going to wear that in the middle of the afternoon roll, Henderson. It's got no top. Look, Joey, forget it, will you? I'm not going to wear anything.
That's even better. Once he claps eyes on your boobs,
I mean, I'm not going to wear anything to tempt the old lecturer into giving you a job. I'm not even going up there to see him.
But we made the appointment.
You made the appointment.
Just think, me, assistant manager of this entire complex. I'd be here all the time. I'd be together with you all day in the same building.
I thought you were trying to convince me.
I'll have another look. Hey, how about this?
That? My God, where'd you get that from? I haven't worn that since your father was around.
And look what I got you. Me.
I'm going to burn it.
I'll have another look. Hey, look at this. Oh, I don't know, though. No, you're a bit past this sort of thing now.
What do you mean, past it?
Forget it.
Look, Joey fellows, for the last time, I'm not going to squeeze into that dress to con a dirty old man into giving you a job.
Of course, I doubt it'd even fit you now. You know, when I was at school, I was very proud of having a glammed-up mum like you. All the other mothers look like runners up to an Edna Everage look-alike competition.
Are you implying that that's what I look like now?
Of course not. But if you won't even try the dress on...
You little bugger. Give me that dress. I'll show you.
I'd call in the day after tomorrow, my dear, just to be on the safe side. And a very good afternoon to you.
Thanks very much.
Now, you're not going to babble on again about Sam Bloody Bennett, are you?
Have I said a word?
Yeah, all morning and half the hour so far.
You seem to forget, Walter, that he's threatened us with the constabulary.
Then let him go to the bloody constabulary, see if I care.
Well, I, on the contrary, do care. Suppose it got back to Melbourne. My family have never been involved with the law. Mumsy would never hold up her head again.
Well, seeing she's in her grave, I can't say it matters that much.
If you permit the police to be brought into this, Walter, then we shall be the ones to suffer. And all because of that common, vulgar little man with no breeding at all. I always remember what Mumsy used to say.
So do I, but I still went ahead and married you.
She'd say, Joyce, she'd say, there is nothing like breeding. Breeding will out.
And every little rabbit in the country yelled, and so say all of us.
Blair, darling, are you there?
Oh, that adventuress.
Coming.
Whatever are you wearing?
You like? Oh, this is just my working schmuck. I had to change out of this evening gown. And who was to know I have nothing underneath? Ah, Walter, darling, my poor evening gown is in need of your special attention. Some idiot last night, he wears every decoration in the book with dance clothes. Then one of his big spiky medals rips at my bosoms. Look, I show you. You see? It even went right through and scratched me. I show you.
No, I don't think that'll be necessary, Miss Yakacek. Walter, don't you have work to do?
This gown has sentimental value to me. It was a gift from an admirer. Now, who was it? Oh, I cannot remember his name. No matter, it is unimportant.
Don't worry your pretty little head. I'll fix it.
Oh, thank you, darling. You are such a comfort. You are fortunate having a big, hairy man to depend on. You think yourself lucky I make it a rule never to go after the married men. At least not when their wives are present. Oh, customers. Maybe they're going to buy my knickknackery.
Those ragamuffins?
Who knows? Young today, very rich. Maybe it's because they keep mugging everybody. Darling!
Miss Yockachek, your ticket.
I'm off to the pool now, Mum.
How long will you be?
As long as it takes.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that, Philip.
You know as well as I do, I should be training 5 hours a day. 2 sessions. Morning and afternoon. Oh, and as it is, I'll be lucky if I can put in much more than an hour, Savo.
I can't help the cafe being busy. We agree.
I know we agree, but it isn't working out, is it? If only she'd pull a Whyte, there'd be no more worries.
2 coffees, black, and 2 ham sandwiches.
Where are you going?
To finish the magazine I've been trying to read all day.
Well, when you give an order, you wait for it, and then you take it out to the table.
That may be the way you do it, little brother, but then you have had practice in being a servant. I'm used to having servants wait upon me.
Well, who in God's name does she think she is?
Children. If he can go splashing up and down a swimming pool like some silly duck, then I should have time to read.
Splashing? I don't do it for fun, you know. I'm in training.
Just as you say, Bing San.
My name is Philip.
Sure, and your Chinese name is Bing San.
I'm not Chinese, I'm Australian.
Oh, and that is something to be proud of.
Mum, I can take just so much.
Go to your swimming, my son, go.
No use persisting with the 400 freestyle unless you can keep it down to 410. And even then, you've got to start lopping seconds off that.
Yeah, I know.
And you also know the answer. You've got to allow more time for training. Otherwise, you can forget all about the Olympics. 5 solid hours every day. No excuses, no let-ups.
It's not easy.
Being a champion swimmer never is. So you've got to forget all about the cafe and any other problems. What about this sister of yours? You said when she came out from Hong Kong that she was going to...
Oh, my sister turns out to be a stuck-up, lazy little bitch.
How's that?
Oh, different upbringing, I suppose. We were both babies when our parents separated. Billy went back to Hong Kong with my father, and Mum and I stayed on here.
And why the hell did she bother to come back and disrupt everything?
No choice, I guess. Turns out my father lost all his money a few months back and went and killed himself.
Sorry, Philip, I didn't know.
No, I never knew him. But, well, I guess it's going to take Mealing some time to adjust.
Well, time's one thing we don't have. So this, what's-her-name, Mei Ling's got to start helping out, and quick. And if she doesn't, you've got to make her. Give her a kick in the backside. Well, it's either that or you miss out on the Olympics for good. So make up your mind quick. Otherwise, you're going to be no use to me.
Sorry to leave you on your own for so long, love. I got held up.
I don't mind. In fact, I enjoy being down here.
Oh, I don't know. Some of these kids can cut up pretty rough.
Not with me, they can't. So do me a favour, Dad, and stop being so protective.
You look tired.
Thanks a lot. I'm feeling great because I'm doing something useful. And you tell me I look tired? What kind of psychology is that?
I only meant...
Here we go again. Why don't you go up to the apartment and rest, baby?
And what's to stop you now that I'm back? I can take up with you.
Will I stay cooped up there watching Bugs Bunny? Not a chance.
Tina, what's wrong?
Dad, will you never learn? Just because I have to get around in a wheelchair, it doesn't make me a helpless invalid.
No need to get into a
I'm
tiz.
not. But as for going up to the apartment, I'll do that if and when I choose and not before. Hey! Did I tell you about building the machine?
Lynn, you don't have to do that.
I do, Norm. Iris says I do.
Never mind what Iris says. She only owns half this business, you know.
Well, shall I cut the weights in 2 and just put Iris's half away?
Don't be a bigger idiot than you can help.
I was meant to be a joke, Norm.
Look at that notice. Members are requested to replace weights in the appropriate racks after use. Can't you read?
Yeah, I can read all right, Norm, but I'm not so sure if some of the members can.
Of course they can.
Well, why don't they?
Why don't they what?
Replace the weights in the appropriate racks after use. See? I told you I could read, Norm.
Don't you eat that all at once and you'll end up like me.
Bye.
Pass me my pills, Consuela, will you?
What's wrong?
Lynn's given me a headache.
Headache pills.
The vitamin E, they're the ones for nervous tension.
There we are.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Well, how are you getting along so far?
So good. I should have everything more or less at my fingertips by the time we close.
We don't close until 10 at night, you know.
Yes, you told me. I don't care. I've nowhere else to go most nights.
Where do you live?
I have what is known as a cosy bed sitting room out at Jaraga.
Oh, I go through at Jaraga on the way home. I could give you a lift back. Pick you up in the mornings, too.
Oh, that'd be a help. If your car springs can take the strain.
Why do you do that?
What?
Put yourself down all the time.
I told you before, I like to get in first before anybody else does. You know that old saying about inside every fat lady there's a thin lady trying to get out? Well, inside this fat lady there's an even fatter lady trying to get out.
There you go again. You see, you will not let the matter drop. Look, let's have a break. It'll be quiet now till the office workers start coming in around 6. Fancy a cuppa down at Toby's Cafe?
Love it, providing I don't come face to face with a lamington or a sponge finger.
We'll sit at an outside table then. We'd better fetch something for Len. Len?
Yeah?
Len, we're nipping down to the cafe for half an hour. Can we bring you back a sandwich?
Ah, geez, that'd be great, Norm.
Okay, what kind?
Oh.
Baked beans, salmon and cucumber, leg ham and mustard.
Yeah.
Well, which?
Oh, geez, I don't know, Norm. It's a difficult decision, isn't it?
I suppose this came as a bit of a surprise to you, Mr. Henderson. This appointment.
Ah, but a very pleasant surprise, Mrs. Sparks. How well I remember our first encounter.
Yeah, so do I.
It was when you came up to sign the rental agreement for your shop, remember? We adjourned to a quiet, secluded restaurant, had an intimate meal, and I offered to give you a lift home.
Yeah. And we ended up in a drive-in movie.
What was that film again?
I never even saw the screen.
You were so animalistic.
I always am at the pictures. It's something they put in the Jaffas.
You really were so provocative. I couldn't contain myself, but something kept holding me back.
Oh, it was the speaker. You got the cord tangled round your legs.
Happy days. But since then, you seem to have avoided me.
What, me? Oh, well, you are the landlord. I'm just a lowly tenant.
Oh, but such a fine figure of a woman.
With a fine figure of a son, too, Joey. And you know what? He'd be just right for that job you're advertising, the assistant manager.
You have a son? Old enough for that position? Impossible. You're just a mere child. I don't believe it.
Why don't you sit down, Mr. Henderson, and I'll call him in. He's waiting outside.
Time enough for that later.
But I do think you'd be impressed with him. He's had a lot of experience.
So I would say, have you?
But we're not talking about me, Mr. Henderson.
Oh, but I
do think you should meet Joey. Have a talk with him.
Later, Mrs. Sparks. Later, Molly.
But I do think you'd like him and find him ever so amenable and willing.
He takes after his mother, does he?
And if you give him the job, I'll always be grateful to you. Well?
In that case... wait a moment. Before this obviously promising confrontation with our potential assistant manager, there's just one question I'd like to ask.
Yes?
What are you doing for dinner tonight?
Robbie, a murderer. You're off your skull.
Yeah, Kitty Adams said the same thing.
You told her as well? Oh, this is great. Why didn't you tell Joyce Blair and that Buxton Sheila at the news agency? They're the biggest blabbermouths in the arcade, and if you really want to spread it round, I'm sure they...
No, I had to talk to someone, and Kitty Adams is no gossip.
Now, look, Di, this is my kid brother you're accusing. You can't go around spreading vicious rumours just because of a few coincidences.
So you believe what he said about the blood and the rest of it?
Yes, I do believe him. Strangely enough, because he's my own flesh and blood, not some goddamn homicidal freak.
Craig,
look, I'm going to tell you something. And you listen good. I happened to hear the midday news bulletin on the radio. Now, it didn't mean much to me then, but by God, it does now.
Why? What do you mean?
Another girl hitchhiker was murdered this morning at Dubbo.
What?
This morning, Di, at Dubbo, while Robbie was here with us. Now, you have accused him of some pretty rotten things. Are you going to say now that he can be in two places at once?
No, Craig. Well, thank God. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I'm so sorry.
Look, I'm going up to the apartment. and tell him to take his car off the street and put it in the parking lot downstairs. And when I bring him back here, you've got to make up for this. You understand?
Yeah. And when Sam Bennett returns here, we're going to have to pay him that $500, whether you like it or not.
Oh, give it a rest, Dalt. I've had it all day.
Very well. We'll say no more about it. Providing the moment you finish that order, you go down to the bank and withdraw $500 from our account.
No bloody way.
Language, Walter. For a lady's present.
The money in that account's for our holidays, and I'm not going to miss out on that for nobody.
For anybody.
Oh, I'm glad you agree.
Oh, do be sensible. Don't you realise that the alternative is a sordid involvement with the police? Sam Bennett threatened to inform them if that money wasn't returned to him by this evening, and he will. Oh, Walter, think of the disgrace. Whatever will people say?
I told you, Joyce, I don't bloody care. It's his word against ours. He said the money was in the suit, but he can't prove it.
Well, it's iniquitous, that's what it is. Mumsy was right. Joyce, she'd say, we're condemned to rub shoulders with injustice all our lives. I suspect that's why she rarely ventured out of Toorak. Oh, dear. It's at times like this that I regret we ever decided to leave Melbourne.
We didn't decide to leave Melbourne. We had to leave Melbourne. You know that as well as I do. I'm sorry, Dalt.
Oh, Walter, won't you reconsider giving him the money, please?
No, I won't. And when Sam Bennett comes in later, I'll tell him so to his face. Cops or no cops. And that's my last word, Joyce. So forget it.
Enjoy yourself and don't strain anything important, will you?
OK.
Oh, yes, madame. They say that in all those old English films, but I reckon it's a courtesy that should be brought back, don't you? Who the hell are you? Consuela McPhee, the new receptionist. You mean you're a temporary? Someone the agency sent along to fill in? No, as far as I'm concerned, it's permanent. And I'm afraid it's men only today. I can't believe this. Oh, yes, it's a regular schedule. Men Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Ladies Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, with a little bit overlapping in between so as everyone can get matey in the sauna. Don't you talk about this place like that. I'm sorry, I happen to be co-owner of this health studio. Oh. The name is Pendleton. Mrs. Pendleton. And don't you forget it. Haven't you anything better to do?
Oh, Iris, it's you.
Well, of course it's me. Who are you expecting, Jackie Onassis?
No, Iris, it's men only today.
If anyone says that to me again, I'll scream. Where's Norman?
He's in the locker room, I think.
Anyone with him? Just tell me one thing. How could you, in all sanity, engage an oversized freak like that creature out there?
But you told me to call the agency.
You might just as well have called Bull and Circus. It's always the trouble. I should have done it myself.
But she's efficient, Iris, and she gets on well with the members.
And she looks like a dropout from Weight Watchers. Some image for a health studio. You're bad enough in all conscience, but her...
You have no right to talk like that.
I do own half this establishment, you know.
And I own the other half.
Which is the biggest mistake my late husband ever made.
The second biggest.
What?
Nothing.
If I'd known Mike had been stupid enough to make a will naming us equal beneficiaries... How could I have known? He was in his prime, in peak condition.
Iris, we've been over all this before. It never gets us anywhere.
Oh, yes, it does. It reminds us that I have equal say in what goes on here, and what I'm saying now is this. That obese woman has got to go. And the sooner, the better.
Yes, and the minute I saw the report of this latest hitchhiker murder in the afternoon paper, I thought I must pop along and tell you, and pick up my dress at the same time, of course. Oh, hasn't it come up nicely?
Another of those poor girls done to death. Where was it this time? I don't know what the world's coming to.
Well, perhaps the police will be so busy with that they won't have time to investigate you and Walter.
Investigate us?
I wonder what did happen to that $500.
I wouldn't hazard a guess, Miriam. Now, shall I fold and wrap that for you?
Oh, no, I can manage it on the hanger. Oh, yes, it really has come up nicely, hasn't it, Joyce? You know, I've worn this to all Molly's weddings.
Indeed. Well, considering the rapidity with which your sister takes up and sheds husbands, I share your surprise at the garment's condition. It's a wonder it's not in tatters by now.
Yes. Molly's been married 3 times. You know, I always felt this dress cried out for something.
A rest, I should say.
No. A nice piece of jewellery to set it off. Like your diamond brooch. I noticed you're wearing it again today.
My brooch? Ah, but this is an heirloom, Miriam. A family heirloom. Most valuable. I should say that nowadays it would be worth at least 500.
Yes?
Would your sister be wondering where you are? You have been over here quite some time.
I'm entitled to my time off. I mean, she was off at Mr. Henderson's office about... Oh, I forgot to tell you, didn't I? Joey wants the job here, so he persuaded Molly that if
Yes,
she was
well,
to
I
go to
do
Mr.
think you should get back, dear. Walter, would you come out and mind the counter? I have to pop out for a moment.
Where are you going?
I won't be a
Miriam,
tick,
I'm
doll.
sure your sister awaits you. Walter!
Where have you been? I was beginning to think Joyce Blair had taken you in for dry cleaning.
I don't think that's very funny, Molly. While you were upstairs flaunting yourself in front of Mr. Henderson, I never stopped for a minute.
Oh, yeah, I noticed. I had to fight my way through the crowds when I got back.
You just happened to arrive as the rush had finished. That's the reason you caught me thumbing through the latest Barbara Cartland.
Thumbing? You were elbow deep in chapter 12.
Well, when else do I get a chance to read any decent literature?
Well, if you cut out some of the time you spend gossiping with Joyce Blair, you'd have enough time to read the latest Barbara Cartland and War and Peace, all in the same day.
Mum, I got the job. I got it.
Oh, Joey!
Honey Miriam, I got it. I'm the new assistant manager. I made it.
Oh, by the looks of your mother, it looks as if she's the one who made it.
I've been up there with Mr. Henderson for ages. After you made yourself scarce, we went over the whole setup here. Rents, maintenance...
Rents?
Yeah. If inflation keeps on like it is, this arcade will be running at a loss. It's ridiculous, and I told him so.
You brought up rents with Mr. Henderson? But you've only been working for him for 5 minutes.
You mean you advised him to put up our rents?
Well, I am management now, Auntie Miriam. And then there's the encroachment of shopkeepers on the arcade proper. Stalls not on the shopkeeper's premises. Like that one you've got outside there full of discount paperbacks. All very well for you, but it does jut out. It does restrict the flow of pedestrian fluctuation.
Don't be filthy.
And there's the litter problem, isn't there? For example, you leave all your unsold papers out there to be collected when you close. Fine if nobody uses the arcade after 6, but you forget, the health studio's open till late, so is the pinball parlour. People still use the arcade when you close.
Joey fellows.
Mr. Henderson agrees it looks untidy. It gives the arcade a bad after-dark image.
And what about my after-dark image, you ungrateful little sod? Because of you, I've got to have dinner tonight for that lecherous old perv. That's my after-dark image.
Mum, enjoy yourself. Eat up big. Have a ball.
Oh, some ball. I'm going to have to fight him off. And that's the price I'm paying for getting you the job.
I warned you, Molly. I warned
Oh,
you.
shut up. And what thanks have I had? None. Oh, no, you're too busy putting up the rents and finding fault with the way I do business. Well, just you listen to me, Joey Fellows. If I don't keep this date with old Henderson tonight, you won't have any job.
Mum, I didn't mean it. I was only carrying on, you know me.
I wish I didn't, you little bugger. So just cool it from now on, Treasure. Just cool it.
He's there again.
Who is?
That man who keeps visiting Kitty Adams in the record bar. That man with the sinister look. This makes twice in one day.
Miss Yokacek, my husband must know nothing of this. I shall give the money to Mr. Bennett in secret, and that'll be the end of the whole sordid affair. But only if you buy the brooch.
Well, oh, I do adore it. Oh, what the hell? You would take a check, isn't it?
Yes, but make it out to cash,
Oh,
will you?
sure, darling, sure. Oh, it is sad for you, I know. But there is also the sunny side up. You are in good company.
Oh?
Many of the aristocracy had to pawn their jewels in time of difficulty. The White Russians when they flee from the Bolsheviks. Anastasia. You remember Anastasia?
Not clearly. Was she a Melbourne lass?
Oh, darling, you are so funny. Even at a time like this, you make this a joke. There.
How can I ever thank you?
I will keep it always, but I shall be discreet. Never will I wear it in front of your husband.
I never want to see it again. It would be too painful.
Oh, you poor darling. I shall treasure it always.
Well, I must go now. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Bye-bye. Hello, darling. It's Magda. Send over your fastest courier. I have this wonderful bargain for you. An antique diamond brooch. It's still at $1,000. But to you, $750.
If we are going out to dinner tonight, I suppose I'd better go up to the apartment and try to iron myself a shirt. I'll see you.
Oh, hey, look where you're going, can't you?
Sorry. Sorry, I didn't realise.
You're only terribly sorry because I'm in this contraption, aren't you?
No, honestly, I wasn't looking where I was going, that's all. Sorry.
It was my fault as much as yours, so forget I'm a cripple and stop apologising.
I wasn't apologising, I just...
You know, I've got the new distributor here. Donna Sam and the Village People.
Great.
Hello again. You're Craig Carmichael's brother I now hear.
Yeah, that's right.
Craig, sorry, I thought you were just another shopper.
So that's how you treat choppers in this arcade, is it?
What I mean...
Oh, look, forget it. See you around.
First nice guy I meet in weeks, and I had to go and snap his head off.
Why?
Because I was mad with him. He insisted I go upstairs to the apartment and have a rest before I cook dinner for us. He's always suggesting I should take a rest, and I don't want a rest, Kitty. I want to do an honest day's
Calm
work.
down, Tina, darling. Your father only wants what's good for you.
He thinks what's good for me.
You're not an easy cripple to get on with, are you?
I know.
Come on, come and listen to these new releases.
Tomorrow, perhaps, Kitty. Now be a good little girl and go up to the apartment and rest like Dad says. See ya.
Kitty, I saw you talking to Robbie just now.
Yeah, it is passed by with Tina.
Well, will you forget everything I said earlier today? Or just me being stupid?
You've heard there's been another hitchhiker killed?
Yes, Craig heard it on the midday news, but it happened in Dubbo this morning. Robbie was already here, then he couldn't have done it.
Craig's a bit behind the times, darling. Haven't you seen the afternoon papers?
No, why?
The girl in Dubbo wasn't murdered this morning. Her body was found this morning. The police reckon she was picked up and killed sometime yesterday.
Just take the check and go, Mr. Bennett.
I feel real bad about this, Mrs. Blair, but I did leave the money in that suit, and it did disappear on your premises.
I know, I accept it, and that is in recompense. But in future, I would be extremely happy if you would take your custom elsewhere.
6 o'clock, better start locking up. Oh, so you're back, are you?
Mr. Bennett was just leaving.
Yeah,
Hey, that was a cheque. You paid him off, didn't you?
Walter, I refuse to undergo anything so common and vulgar as a third degree. The subject is now closed.
Oh, no, it's not. Where did you get the money? Did you write that cheque?
No, I did not write a cheque. It was a Yocker cheque. I mean, a cheque written by Miss Yocker cheque.
Magda,
Oh.
you mean you borrowed the money?
Borrow money? You must have taken leave of your senses, Walter. I never had to as a girl, thanks to Mumsy's generosity, and old habits die hard.
Well, how did you do it? Come on, Joyce, I want to know.
Darling!
Where is it?
You know perfectly well, darling. Up the arcade near the parking exit. There's one for the ladies and there's one for the gentlemen.
Don't try and be bloody funny.
But Walter, I got.
Ah, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. Not until you give me that brooch. The brooch Joyce came to flog.
Flog?
You do two things. You give that flaming brooch back to me, then first thing in the morning you phone the bank and stop that cheque.
But I cannot.
Yes, you can. People stop checks.
Darling, darling, calm down. Such a rage is not good for you. And when it is directed at me, well, I am the innocent party.
You're right, Magda. You are. No offence meant.
And none taken, Walter.
That brooch was my mother's, you see.
Your mother's? But your wife said You mean she stole it from your mother?
Oh, no, my mum's dead.
But robbing the graves, that is terrible. I have seen it in the movies, but I never thought it happened outside Transylvania.
No, you don't understand. It was my mother's, but she left it to Joyce in her will.
Ah, then you are wrong. I know all about wills. They try to break them, those grasping relatives. You spend 6 months in the company of a dying man. He changes his will in your favor. Then all hell breaks loose. And then they try to say that you are not entitled. But me, I hired the best lawyers. I showed them Magda Jogorczak is not the fool they thought she was. Oh, shut up. I took this case to the highest court in Europe and I...
Look, Magda, will you just give the brooch back to me, please?
Walter, I already told you. I cannot.
Why? I mean, why?
The minute your wife is gone, in comes this little old lady. Old? She was 80 if she was a minute. She sees the brooch on the counter. Tears come into her eyes. She said it's the image of the one she has on her youth. She implored me to sell it to her. No, I cried, no, not in 1,000 years. But this long she cannot wait. She weeps some more. It gets to me. Here. So I give in. I let her take it. At a loss to myself. How could I ask a little old lady $500 for something she wants so desperately?
Oh, no.
So, darling, that is where the brooch is gone. Gone with the wind.
You heard from Craig yet? Oh, God, I'll never get used to calling him that.
Yeah, he rang while you were in the shower from the hairdresser's. He got held up. But he said he wouldn't be long. He should be back any minute.
Oh, hairdressers. He certainly looks after himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, isn't it up to everyone to look after themselves?
I know. You look great. Are you trying to give them up or something?
What?
If you want some matches, there's some in my jacket pocket.
You gave me the shock of my life. I'm nervous enough as it is. What with girls being murdered all over the place, it's not even safe to walk the streets.
What streets do you walk, Auntie Miriam?
Oh, don't be awful. You know very well what I mean. What's all that, pray?
Take away food. I picked it up on the way home.
Well, I wish you'd told me earlier. I've already got the cabbage on.
You can take it off again. I thought with Mum going out tonight, you and I could celebrate my new job in style. I've got pizzas, tacos, chips, sweet and sour pork.
What? No cheeseburgers?
Oh, yeah. They're in there with the fried rice.
Oh, you know my tummy's inclined to be fragile.
Stomach all that sickly Barbara Cartland rubbish, don't you?
Barbara Cartland's novels are pure escapism. They bring a welcome touch of romance into my humdrum life. And goodness knows I need it.
What about Mum and Mr. Henderson? Just think, Auntie Miriam, tonight their throbbing bodies will fuse, rampant and triumphant. And then they'll walk into the sunset of life. Hand in hand.
Just so long as they don't spill anything on my best dress. I've just had it dry cleaned.
Eh?
Yes, she's changing into it now. Wasn't she lucky? I just had it cleaned and pressed.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Mum is wearing one of your frocks on this date with old Henderson tonight?
I certainly am.
Mum!
Didn't have a thing of my own to wear. How do I look?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? To put old Henderson off. You're deliberately making yourself look hideous so we won't make a pass at you.
That's my best dress you're talking about. Oh, the very idea.
Oh, Miriam, that wasn't my intention at all.
Oh, yes, it was.
Oh, yes, it was. Joey's right. Out of the mouths of babes.
Babes?
So you can just go and take it off, Molly Sparks. You're not to wear it. I won't allow it.
Oh, but Miriam.
No, Molly.
I tell you what, love. I'll ask for a doggy bag. I'll bring back all the lovely leftovers.
No, that's my final word. Go and take it off.
But what am I going to wear?
One of your own dresses. Come on, I'll help you pick it out, like I did the Sabo.
Oh, God. Here we go again.
Well, I'll just clear these dinner things away, then we can all watch some television.
Hey, Mum, let Mia Ling wash up. She's done nothing in the cafe all day. She might as well do some work at home.
Oh, you are a peasant.
Yeah, well, at least I'm not a bludger.
I do not understand these Australian words.
Children.
In Australia, people help each other. Whether it's washing up or whatever it is.
In Hong Kong, servants do that, not members of the family. I shall go to my room and read. Good night, Mama. Good night.
In which case, Miss Patty Fields, I'll sit here and watch Aussie television.
But Philip, my dear son,
She gets on me goat, that's all. I'll forget it.
how can I forget it? Mei-Ling is your sister.
Okay, so she's my sister. Look, I'm 20 years old, and I met her for the first time 2 weeks ago. She could be anybody.
But Philip, my dear,
Oh, don't make excuses. Your long-lost daughter turns out to be a lazy Hong Kong snob. Look, I'll tell you something. I'm your son, and I'm an Australian like you. I'm a champion swimmer. And unless I get more time off work to train, I can forget all about the Olympics. Forget about everything. Spend the rest of my life serving spaghetti.
but Philip, Mei-Ling is your sister, and we are a family. It is Chinese tradition.
Oh, don't go on with your Ming dynasties, Chinese traditions. I was born and bred in Australia. That's the way I intend to stay.
Thank you, Tuck.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Thank heaven, 10 o'clock at last. Len's just clearing up. We can leave him to it.
There's the takings and the receipts. Everything's in order, so I guess I'll be on my way now.
You didn't listen to what I said. I said we can leave him to it. I'm coming with you. We can have a drink, bite a supper, whatever you feel like.
You don't have to do that, Norman.
Oh, you put in a long day.
Yeah, but why the invitation? Is that the equivalent of a gold watch for 8 hours long and faithful service? Now that I've got the boot.
Who said you got the boot?
Well, you did, in so many words. Just after your sister-in-law marched out of here earlier on.
What I said then and what I'm saying now are two different things. Come, we'll talk about it.
You know something? When she came in and announced she was Mrs. Pendleton, I thought she was your wife.
Me? Me married to Iris? Perish the thought.
You might just as well be, if you don't mind my saying so. She does rather treat you like a hen-picked husband. You and Len.
Not anymore, as I hope you'll see tomorrow.
Don't worry, Len. Still you and me. Between us, we'll get rid of him.
Sorry you had such a lousy evening, kid.
Oh, well, the food was great. In that restaurant. There's nothing like that in Galagenbone.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, die. Well, what's wrong with her, Stan? I mean, Craig? I mean, she hadn't said a word all evening, just sat there staring at her food.
I know. She's not like this at all. Usually she's quite a butte-jumping chick.
Well, then why?
I suppose I can tell you. She has got it into a nut. Somehow or other, that you are this psychopath, this hitchhiker killer.
What?
Oh, hell, you must have read about it.
No, I haven't, no.
Oh, for God's sake, Robbie. The first murder took place just outside Galagenbone. 6 days ago, before you even left.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, of course. What, have there been other murders since?
Oh, only 3, that's all.
Where?
Between Galagenbone and here.
Oh, and Di thinks that...
I told you, she's round the twist about it. I suppose she's scared. Oh, pretty brutal murders. Rape and God knows what else.
But why suspect me? I mean, on what grounds?
I don't know. She's got this weirdo imagination. She puts 2 and 2 together, Makes 25.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know, like the bloodstain on your jacket. The fact that you took 5 days to get here, and that you came via Dubbo.
How did you know I came via Dubbo?
Did you?
Well, yeah, I passed through it. Like I told you, I was driving around, went to different places. Look, Craig, you've got to convince
Don't
Diana.
worry about it, mate. She'll be over it by tomorrow. Look, I gotta hit the sack. I need my beauty sleep. But don't you come and murder me in my bed, otherwise I'll be very cross. Good night.
No.
Here's another laugh for you. She said that she's gonna take the first opportunity to search your car. Can you imagine?
What for?
More evidence, Marty Watson. Elementary. Oh, by the way, don't lock up. I don't think Di took a key with her.
Around us, all the people hurrying by. We're drifting through life together. I can't help wondering why tonight we'll hide away our own. The two of us together alone. Need somebody to show the way. Every night, every single day, baby, we can try. Never say goodbye. Maybe you and I, we're all walking through an arcade.